Imagine spending billions to build like the world's most advanced high-speed bullet train. It's sleek, it's lightning fast, but there is a bizarre catch. The tracks just stop dead at the national
Well,
border.
it literally cannot take international passengers.
Exactly. And that is essentially what the U.S. Federal Reserve built with the original FedNow system. I mean, it's a state-of-the-art instant payment rail, but it was stubbornly trapped within U.S. borders.
Yeah, completely isolated by design.
Right. But looking at this new executive analysis on the April 2026 amendments to Regulation J, well, it looks like the Fed is finally opening those borders.
Yeah.
So our mission for you on today's deep dive is to figure out how this shift transforms the domestic system into a critical piece of global financial infrastructure.
Okay, let's unpack this. How are they actually connecting these domestic tracks to the outside world?
Well, the mechanism expanding those tracks is Regulation J. So the recent update officially permits FedNow participants to use correspondent banks as intermediaries. Okay, because previously, every leg of a transaction required a direct connection to a reserve bank, right?
Exactly. Both the sender and the receiver had to be, strictly US-based. What's fascinating here is that this completely drops the domestic-only wall.
So international money had no way to enter the system directly before this.
Right. But now, international funds can effectively just drop right onto the FedNow rail. It fundamentally changes FedNow's utility.
I mean, it's no longer just moving money between domestic banks.
Exactly. It can now handle the final U.S. domestic leg of massive global transfers. It provides instant delivery for money entering the country from those correspondent banks.
Okay, I get how the tracks connect now. But FedNow is instant and irrevocable.
Yes, absolutely.
So what does this all mean? Like, if you open up a frictionless high-speed rail to international borders, how do U.S. banks handle international compliance checks?
That is the big question.
I mean, they literally don't have the time to review the transfer. If a foreign bank makes a typo on a sanctions check, you can't just hit undo.
No, you can't. And that's exactly what the analysis identifies as the irrevocability and liquidity gap, because you cannot reverse a FedNow payment.
Wow.
Yeah, so your margin for error on anti-money laundering checks and, sanctions screening, it just drops to zero the second you introduce international data.
Oh, man. And the global time zones must make the liquidity side of that gap incredibly difficult to manage.
Oh, for sure.
You've got money flowing in from overseas at like 3 a.m. while U.S. banks are totally closed.
Right. So these 2047 cross-border flows create severe overdraft risks. Regional banks face immediate settlement failures if they don't have the cash ready the exact second that international transfer hits the rail.
Wait, really? The exact second?
Yes. And human compliance teams are simply too slow to check these transactions and manage liquidity in real time. I mean, especially in the middle of the night.
So if human teams are too slow and instant finality is the ultimate goal here, how are banks keeping the system from just, grinding to a halt?
Well, they are completely removing humans from the immediate loop.
Entirely.
Entirely. The solution outlined in the sources is an agentic liquidity and compliance mesh. Banks are deploying autonomous AI agents to forecast cash requirements, usually 4 to 6 hours in advance.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. These agents proactively move collateral between FedNow and international accounts. It basically ensures a constant liquidity buffer.
And I guess it goes beyond just predicting cash, because by late 2026, the new global messaging standard, ISO 2022, it'll outright ban unstructured data.
That's right.
So if an international bank sends a transfer with a messy or incomplete address, the system won't just flag it. It will actually reject it.
Exactly, which is where large language models step in to autonomously self-heal those messy messages.
Self-heal?
Yeah, they do it before the messages ever touch the FedNow rail. The LLMs aren't just guessing, they are instantly mapping unstructured international address formats into the strict data fields required by the Fed.
That's crazy.
They're essentially translating the data into compliance in milliseconds.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's almost like an autonomous air traffic controller, like instantly correcting a foreign plane's faulty flight coordinates midair.
That is a great way to put it. It's preventing a crash right as it comes in for a landing. By mapping and structuring that incoming data instantly, they prevent those automatic rejections.
Right.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this shifts the broader landscape. The real return on investment isn't the FedNow rail itself anymore.
Interesting.
The competitive advantage really lies in the agentic infrastructure required to manage the intense speed and risk of cross-border settlement.
Which is exactly why this matters to you. This pivot transforms FedNow from a basic domestic utility into a global competitive weapon.
Absolutely. Regional banks can now actually play in the international arena. Well, provided they have the AI infrastructure to handle the speed, of course.
Right. It levels the playing field, but it
Mhm.
introduces an entirely new category of operational reliance.
A huge reliance, yeah.
Bringing us to a final provocative thought for you to explore on your own. If we're handing over the keys of irrevocable cross-border settlements to autonomous AI agents, who takes the regulatory fall when an agent inevitably hallucinates a data field?
Oh, that's a scary thought.
It really is. We've finally opened the borders for the bullet train, but we've completely changed the nature of the conductor. Catch you on the next deep dive.